Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our children.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
You know it's going to be uncomfortable. You know it's probably going to draw on and on. You've even probably plotted out a way to avoid it, only to find yourself here during your last semester before graduation. But you have to take it anyway. Of course, I am talking about public speaking. Just because it's incredibly uncomfortable does not mean it has to be miserable for the entire semester. In order to make your experience in public speaking a little less stressful, I'm going to pull a few main points from the class that you would need to understand right away. I'm going to help you ace this semester by explaining what you need to focus on for each and every speech, from when your speech is assigned, before your speech is due, and of course the day that you will present your speech. As soon as you find out the parameters of each speech, you need to start thinking about a topic. This is where you're going to be most in control. You need to play to your strengths and choose a topic that you are interested in, and preferably something that you have some knowledge on. Perhaps you've written more than a few papers on restorative justice and would love to talk about society's need for a better criminal justice system. Or maybe you've been waiting tables since you were 16. You could choose an informative topic of why waitresses deserve higher pay, or a persuasive speech using ethos, pathos, and logos to convince customers that you deserve more than the $3 they offered you. Seriously, no matter what your knowledge is on, it can be turned into a speech, and this will also help you calm your nerves since you already know so much about it. Creating a high-quality outline is also crucial, and you'll want to start this as soon as possible. Not only does the outline count toward the grade of your speech, but it will also be incredibly helpful in your delivery. A sample outline will be given for each type of speech, and if you follow it, you will have a more organized speech than your classmates, who somehow forgot to do one. Once your outline is complete, give yourself a few minutes to try to recreate it from memory. You're most likely going to forget your thesis or to preview your main points, or maybe even one of your main points, but this is what note cards are for. In order to keep the speech on track without reading the entire speech, just choose a few short words that will help remember your organization. Back to our hypothetical why waitresses deserve higher pay example, your keywords would probably revolve around something like personal experience waiting tables, splitting tips with lazier waitresses, or maybe statistics on tips and customer service. Use whatever words will help you remember exactly what you wanted to cover. Doing a few practice runs will help with note cards as well as get you ready for your presentation. If you're using PowerPoint or some other form of technology, you may want to familiarize yourself with it. If it's PowerPoint, the remote control comes in handy for not having to stand behind the computer for your entire speech. If at all possible, practice in the empty classroom the day before your speech, especially if you are working on the speaker's triangle. Walking with purpose will take some getting used to, and if you have not practiced, it will be obvious to your audience. Eventually, speech day will arrive and you'll be ready to get it over with. I advise reading Chapter 2 of your public speaking textbook, but we'll go ahead and give you a few key aspects of how to prepare yourself. Before you even come to class, you should be aware of your personal appearance. Wake up a little earlier, make yourself presentable, and have a cup of coffee if you need it. Make sure your clothes are appropriate for the speech you will be presenting. Your hair is neat and not distracting, and choose your jewelry wisely, taking into account any jingling that may distract your audience. How you're perceived by your audience is in your hands. Preparing yourself does not stop with personal appearance, and by now, Dr. Rowe has probably taught you some fairly awkward but reliable exercises that will help you prepare your voice as well. Expect to do these as a class every day that you are presenting a speech. They may seem silly, but trust me, you will get used to them and they will help with your delivery. If you follow the advice that I have given you, you will surely ace public speaking. All you have to do is easily drawn out for you, from the day of your speech is assigned, to the practicing the days leading up to the speech, and of course the day of the presentation. Since this course is required for your degree, you might as well make the best of it. I promise you will get through this and come out a better speaker in the end.
Thank you very much.
Do they hear for our children? That's crucial.
Oh God, our daughter is a great public speaker and just a phenomenal U.S. American.
Everything we teach her.